Hi again, everyone, and welcome to UWBadgers.com. I'm Mike Lucas. I'm joined by Wisconsin men's hockey coach Mike Eaves. Mike, reflect with me for a second here. You're going into your 10th season, and I know with a young team you're trying to accelerate the growth of some of those players who have a little bit limited experience. How have you grown over this past decade as a coach, a college hockey coach?
Well, it's interesting in listening to your statement. This is my 25th year of coaching. After retiring, so from being a player. And if you take a look at that, I think the biggest growth is just understanding the value of patience in working with young people. I think that everybody's different, everybody learns different. Trying to find the right avenue of communication for young people is interesting, whether it's words or video, or just diagramming it or walking on the ice and having them do it in person. So patience is probably the biggest word to use in trying to help somebody learn and trying to unlock the key.
Boy, is that a key word for this year's team, patience.
Yeah, it truly is for even our players, because I think young players that come into this new level, they're used to a certain amount of success. And not to have that success, what will their response be? That will they panic? Will they shut down? Will they try too hard? So in all those areas, we need to help them understand which is the best way to get things done.
In this context, how important are your captains, the people who have been here, who know the system and know how you coach?
Really important because of the fact we can't be with them all the time. When they're in the locker room, when they're out eating, when they're out socially, they carry the flag, if you will, of what our culture is all about when the coaches aren't there. So their input is invaluable, and actually, the realization by all our kids that they have to carry that flag is vital.
Do you have any idea how long this growing up process will take?
It differs from group to group. As we were talking about earlier, normally by Christmas time we have an idea where we're at and which direction we're going, and we have a pretty good feel. But hopefully it'll be early in that.
There are a lot of coaches who just cringe when they hear the word rebuilding. How do you handle something like that?
It's just another word. You could use the word retooling, rebuilding, reloading. We're trying to have these young men grow in their understanding of each other, our systems, and how to come together as a team. So when people ask, what are you looking for, what do you need to see, if we can see growth week by week, and even day by day, getting that much better, we're moving in the right direction, and that's what we can control.
Well, you've got some experience on the blue line with Schultz and Ramage. That's a good place to start.
Yes, it is. I mean, when you talk about hockey, you start on the goal line. That's where you start. But the next most important position is the defenseman. And we can help our young goaltender by playing well on him, and then we can move out with our young forwards and help them grow.
When we talk about the college off-season in your sport, now I've figured out what off means. It means the pros come in and take players off your roster. You've been conditioned to this, right, over the years?
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it.
That was an epiphany for you, wasn't it? Yeah.
I
would have liked to have been there.
It took me a while, but it finally sunk in.
Yeah, I'm going to use that if you don't mind. I'll footnote you on that.
You got it. But I mean,
yeah.
Let me put it this way. Do you ever get used to it, losing players that way?
It's like lifting weights, Mike. You build a callus up. You know, your hands aren't as raw to it. Like the first time you lift and you have them and you rip your, and that hurts. You understand it's a possibility, though. And I think having been a player, you understand the fact that sometimes the window of opportunity for these young men at that next level sometimes is narrow, and it's such a short career. Like for Craig Smith, I mean, he was coming back. I mean, he had signed a lease, he had done all those things, and then the organization, things within the organization changed. They lost players. The opportunity for Craig was now because of the people that stepped away from the organization. He had to take it. If we keep him here or we sell, we're being selfish. And I guess, having been in his shoes and knowing that window is so small, you got to let him go.
How do you replace all that scoring?
As a group, Craig Smith was a leader for us as a forward in terms of scoring. The only way that right now we can do that is as a group, and maybe from within that group, somebody will rise to close to a level that Craig Smith was for us.
Now you see, I've waited. I've been very patient. Remember we started with that patience?
Yeah.
Very patient to ask you about your goaltending.
Yeah. Well, it's I wish we had a situation a little bit like what happened to Brett and his football team, where this kind of thing happen.
You might want to check with Russell Wilson to see if he's playing any hockey.
I don't know, but I mean, what a terrific situation. And you know, that's a funny thing about sports and coaching. We can do all the right things, but you need something like this to fall into place to have a special year. And right now, I mean, we have 3 young goaltenders, and it's going to be exciting to see who rises to the challenge and becomes the guy for us.
Are you optimistic? I was going to say confident. I'll use the word optimistic that you might have an answer with one of those 3 players, or maybe more than one.
No question. I mean, optimistic, hopeful, those are all words that run into the same mode that something good is going to happen. It's one of these young men, time tells us that if we have that kind of attitude, one of these young men is going to rise for us.
Final thought, what's this season going to be like with the advent of Big Ten hockey right on the horizon?
There's a lot of talk out there. Everywhere we go, people are talking about it. And right now, there's a lot of storms in college hockey. And the one thing that comes to mind is the fact, you know, once a storm clears, what do you have? Blue skies, sun is shining. I think it's going to be good in the long run. The exposure that the Big Ten Network is going to have for college hockey is going to be a real good thing. Like a storm going through, it kind of naturally weeds things out and makes things stronger.
Mike, good luck this year.
Thanks, Michael.
For Mike Eaves, I'm Mike Lucas. Thanks for watching UWBadgers.com.